Hello and good evening. Today is Tuesday, November 13th, here in Council Chambers, and I now call the Southbridge School Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bishop?
Absent. Oh, excuse me.
Ms. Duval?
Present.
Dr. Page?
Excused.
Ms. Peliquin?
Running late.
Ms. Ryan?
Present.
Ms. Shea?
Present.
Mr. Thomo?
Present.
4 present.
Thank you. We will now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now move on to award presentations. Dr. Villar?
Thank you. I'm going to ask Mr. Danby to join me at the podium in just a minute. We are very pleased to have an award recipient this evening for the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents. So give me 1 second.
Good evening. The Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents presents an annual award, the Certificate of Academic Excellence, to students who distinguish themselves in pursuit of excellence during their high school careers. Criteria used in the selection process includes 3 years cumulative average, class rank, recommendation of the high school principal, and personal selection by the superintendent. This year's Certificate of Academic Excellence is awarded to Stephanie Beaudry. Stephanie is the daughter of Stephen and Anna Maria Beaudry and is Southbridge High School's highest ranked senior, acquiring a GPA of 4.6 and several academic awards shows that she has undisputed academic talents. The Smith Book Award, Spanish Highest Average Honors Award, and the Certificate of Excellence in Biology and Math are only a few of the she has been awarded during her high school career. She is a member of the National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, International Thespian Society, Student Council, Philosophy Club, and the tennis team. Stephanie has also participated in many volunteer opportunities. Stephanie was recently nominated as the Southbridge High School recipient of the Worcester County Superintendents Association Annual Scholar Award. In addition, I had the pleasure of seeing Stephanie perform in last year's school production of Fame. I understand that Stephanie is applying for acceptance to several 4-year engineering programs. Stephanie? Congratulations.
Forgot your certificate.
Congratulations, Stephanie. We will now move on to agenda item number 4, public input. Is there anybody here tonight who would like to address the Southbridge School Committee? Again, one more time. Is there anybody here tonight who would like to address the Southbridge School Committee? Seeing no one, we will move on to the next item. Agenda item number 5, discussion of minutes. We have 2 meeting minutes to go over. The September 11th meeting minutes and the joint meeting with the Town Council on October 9th. Are there any additions, corrections? Seeing none, again, point of information, we don't get to vote on these, so we will now move on to new business, number 6A. Dr. Villar?
Yes, now we'd have the report from our high school representative, Rebecca Dillon. And Rebecca, again, apologize, your name tag will be here for our next meeting, but we look forward to your report, so thank you.
Thank you. Tomorrow starts the Spirit Week for the Thanksgiving game against Bartlett, which is away, and the band and cheerleaders will be performing there. Each day consists of separate themes to keep the students entertained and ready for the Sunday sketch day, which will consist of 6 to 7 students from each class to participate in preparing their poster for Monday to paint it and the big pep rally on Tuesday, in which we will have many variety of activities, and the band and the cheerleaders will be marching around the halls collecting the football players and making everyone excited for the football game on Thursday. Student Council is also running a canned food drive this week to stock local food pantries, and they also are always looking for more ways to help and support the community and would love for many more people to contact them. And if so, please contact Miss Kelly Landine at the Southbridge High School. And we also have a guest speaker coming in on Friday. The town substance abuse committee have been working with the high school to prepare a discussion of the dangers of the drug abuse and what can be done to prevent it, and will be spoken at the Southbridge High School on Friday. And lastly, the band and jazz band will be performing at the Festival of Giving Tree November 30th, and we would love for anyone to come and support. That's it.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item, I do have a couple important announcements. One, I'm really pleased to share that we are in the process of signing an MOU with the University of Connecticut, who is going to be offering us technical assistance on our climate and culture work over the next at least 3 years at no cost to the district. This is a part of UConn being a recipient of a major federal grant in support of its work around positive behaviors, interventions, and supports, and other multi-tiered systems of support for school climate. All a fancy way of saying, helping us work on creating a school where you see happy teachers and happy students, which I think is really important. So we've had several meetings, and we're very pleased to be their only technical assistance site. It's a significant selection for us. Also want to just report out that the 21st Century Grant, the after-school program we received after a lot of hard work from employees led by Mrs. Farrick, is up and running. We have a total of 120 students participating in the after-school program. And things are going very well, so we're very pleased that we're at a waiting list level of participation. With that said, I would like to now have Ms. Farrick speak to you about the bully procedures and give you an update as to what we do in the circumstance where there are concerns around climate, where an individual might be persecuted or feel bullied at school. So with that said, Mrs. Farrick.
Hi, thank you very much. So I want to talk about the Southbridge Public Schools Bullying Intervention Plan. I'm going to start with a definition. Bullying is when a student or a staff member uses power over others to intentionally cause harm. It's repeated written, verbal, or electronic expression or a physical act intended to cause harm. In conjunction with what Dr. Villar spoke about with our partnership with UConn, a huge piece of what we're trying to do is create a culture where we're preventing bullying, where people feel they can ask for help and get support, where if something's happening, students speak up or other staff speak up. The word bullying is heard often in our current environment. Although the word is used, sometimes the allegations do not rise to the legal definition defined by law. What is important to understand is that once an allegation is stated, a formal investigation is conducted. So there's multiple ways somebody can report or allege bullying is happening. It can be by a staff member to report it to administration if they think a student is being bullied. It can be another student who is either concerned for themselves or for somebody else. Or there's an avenue for parents. If a parent is really concerned about their child, they are able to call the school and let the school administration know. What's really important is communication. The school can't respond and can't start the process if they don't have the information. So the minute, if anybody feels like their child or someone they know is being bullied, it's very important to call the school. There's 3 procedural steps that happen when a bullying allegation arises. The first part is the report, but also parents are notified immediately. They're notified if the student is being targeted or if you're the parent of the aggressor. The subtlety in the law and things that have changed in the past few years is that it's important to address the student that's being victimized, but also the student that's the aggressor. So the whole process that I'm going to talk about identifies and outlines support for both parties. So the first step, after it's reported and parents are notified, is the interview process and reviewing of documents. Interviews happen with the aggressor, with the students, with the target, all the witnesses, including students and staff, reviewing of all the documents, whether it's written, electronic, voicemails, everything is reviewed, and then a draft report is created, which will summarize a statement of allegations, the interventions, all the documents, and then that's when the findings come into play. The report can either substantiate that there was allegations of abuse, or it can say the behaviors didn't reach the legal definition. Regardless as to whether or not it reached the level of legal definition, processes can be put into place. So the follow-up actions are notifying the parent of the target of the findings and notifying the parent of the aggressor of the findings, and then implementing an action plan and consequences. A support plan can be put into place immediately. It doesn't have to wait until after the process is done. It can be put into place the minute an allegation is verbalized in order to protect everybody. Safety plans are put into place, and a lot of times the safety plans are put into place to help make sure the adults know what their roles are around protecting the students. There's ongoing monitoring, which means after the allegation and the report is finished, there's a timeline that's put into place where administrators will follow up with students, both the target and the aggressor, and the family members, to make sure that the safety plan is in place and allegations are no longer rising. There's a lot of education, teaching, and training. And discipline is based on the severity, which is warranted, and in terms of, responsive for corrective action. So although discipline can happen and should happen when students are not treating each other well, there's another piece to it. It's about teaching the pro-social behavior to the aggressor and creating a safety plan where we can protect the aggressor from themselves and the victim from the aggressor. And as I said before, even if the allegation does not rise to the legal definition of bullying, it does not have to shape the school's response. We can have the same response to students not treating each other well, irregardless of it being legal. A concerted effort has been made over the last year to develop, train, and implement this process. In order to ensure its success, communication between the school and the parents is very important. We are investing a significant amount of resources through our culture and climate initiatives to prevent bullying from occurring.
I didn't know if there are no questions, then we can move on, but
Yes, I have a question.
What?
What would happen if a teacher feels that he or she is bullied by a student? Does the teacher have protection? And how would that go about?
The same process would go into place. An investigation would happen.
And teachers know this. They'll be made aware of this, that they're protected.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Shea?
What are the, if a child bullies another child and you go through your steps and nothing seems to be resolved, what is the parent's next step?
So if you go through the bullying process, you go through the bullying investigation process, and a safety plan is put into place, that becomes a legal document, and that's where it becomes a law versus just a discipline policy in a school. If it continues, the bullying continues to happen, or if there becomes retaliation because of the report of bullying, that can shift into the realm of criminal.
Would the parents be responsible for taking this to the police, or is the school responsible for taking this to the police?
It would be a conversation between the school and the parent, because again, this is working together with the families
I do know
to make the right
several-
decision.
Several incidents, several of which I've spoken to the receiver about, and it seems that this process, I was told, took, that we had to do an evaluation and all kinds of things, and that would take 45 days. And it seems that the 45 days have come and gone, and it seems the problem continues. So what is the next step?
So I'm thinking you might be confusing two different processes. One is a process for students that could be potentially needing to receive special education services, and that's a 45-day process. A bullying investigation should not take anywhere near 45 days.
That's what I thought also.
Okay. Just a couple things. For the next meeting, can I have a number of year-to-date incidences within the school district? Sure. And then also can I have a 3-year look back for overall instances, because I'm concerned there's a rising level of bullying within the school system.
We're happy to look at it.
Thank you.
Sure.
I think that's it. Okay.
All right, so the next agenda item, Mr. Bishop had requested that we have a summary of the Mcat scores. You might recall in the joint meeting with the town council, I had shared our current standing, and that unfortunately as a district we're in the less than 5th percentile as compared to other districts across the state. You have the results in front of you. We went back 2014, 2015, and 2016, and then of course the last 2 years. What is important to note, they are on different pages for a reason statistically. The only 2 tests that you can actually compare the results with fidelity are the 2017-2018 administrations. That test was designed so that the result from year to year holds true as an actual rating on what we would call a scaled score. The other test scores, although the numbers could be similar, it does not equal the same value. You'd have to deconstruct the test and determine what the actual result means. So it gets into a big statistical course in of itself. But the bottom line, I think, which is most important, as I stressed before the town council, we have a lot of work to do.
I just want to thank Dr. Villar for getting this information from Mr. Bishop, and I'll make sure he gets a copy because he wasn't able to attend tonight.
Thank you.
Does that conclude your report?
Yes.
Okay. The next school committee meeting is Tuesday, December 11th, 2018 at 7 p.m. right here in council chambers. And we will now move on to agenda item number 7, Chairpersons announcements. I have a number of announcements tonight. It's been an interesting month. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who went out and voted in the last election. Southbridge had record high turnouts for a midterm election. 41% of registered voters in the community voted. That's high. It's really high for the community, and I'm glad to see people really interested in the election process and were able to make their voices heard. I also just want to take a personal moment to thank all the Commonwealth for upholding an important law by voting yes on question 3. It's affected me personally, and I know it's affected a lot of people in this Commonwealth personally. So I'm happy the Commonwealth and this community chose to stay in that direction. I also wanted to let everyone know I had the honor of attending the Massachusetts Association of School Committees Conference last weekend. I always like to go. It's always a wealth of knowledge. I attended a number of panels, including one for the new bilingual law. I attended a panel on how to be an effective chair of a board. I attended the delegate session in which we elected our new leaders for the organization, as well as passed some resolutions, mainly focusing on the arenas of special education and changing the process for submitting resolutions to the organization. I also had the honor of attending our division meeting. We're Division 4 in the Commonwealth, which represents us in the central part of the state. We developed two goals we want to look at over the next year, which are school start times and seeing how we as a region can adjust our times to create a more effective environment for learning. And we want to look at the overall rise in bullying and school climate. Those were the two areas. I also am happy to announce that I was elected to be the vice chair of our region and look forward to working closely with the organization to help better the educational systems in the region. Beyond that, I have nothing further to say, and we will now move on to members forum. I will start on this side tonight. Ms. Duval.
First of all, I've got a couple of items, but I just want to congratulate West Street School. Last Friday, they had a celebration for veterans, and it was super excellent. I really enjoyed it. The students made beautiful placards for the tables and everything, and I don't know, these kids here, they're really good. They're really nice. They sang good. They were very good. And they escorted me, so I feel good. The second thing I want to know about is, with all these incidents of schools, school shootings, church shootings, all these shootings that's going on lately, and they're very, very. Has there been anybody making any information, passing any information? In other words, are the teachers responding to this if they're getting questions? Are they getting questions on this subject?
Are you asking, are teachers being asked by students about these circumstances?
Right.
They haven't reported that. That does not mean that there haven't been conversations. I'm sure, after an issue, if it strikes a student, I could see a conversation happening. At our high school, there's an advisory period, and just general as a teacher, I'm sure there are opportunities where that does happen, where a child might raise a discussion item. We don't expressly discuss it, but certainly would respond if a child raised an issue. That would be the expectation.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about that item.
Yeah, I think collectively we are.
If it happens in Massachusetts, then everybody in Massachusetts will talk about it. But until it does, I guess, 5 days later, it's passé type of thing,
It's very scary.
Thank you.
Ms. Shea?
I read in the Telegram and Gazette last week that the school committee in Worcester is looking into the amount of time the various schools have for recess and breaks and lunch hours. I know myself, when I was teaching, if we got 25 minutes, that was a lot. Could you just get us a report on that, at least that all the schools are getting the same amount of recess and lunchtime?
I can tell you that all the elementary schools have the same schedules. There's the 2 through 5s, and then the Eastford. And in the middle high school, the contract teachers have to have the same period of time as the students go to lunch.
Ms. Pelican?
No issues from me, although I would like to get a follow-up from the email that I had forwarded you. So I'm looking forward to hearing from that.
Mr. Thomo? All set? Okay. And I have, I forgot. Everyone got a bag. Hope you all enjoyed it. It has some information. Ms. Shea? Yes, go right ahead.
It's one more thing. Thanksgiving football games coming up. Go Southbridge, go Pioneers.
Is it home or away this year? I think it's away.
Is it away? this year?
It's in Webster this year.
It is? Okay. Good to know. Okay. Anyone else? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So made.
Second? Second. Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? The meeting is adjourned.